Well, folks, just wanted to let you know that Colton from the Cry for Help Relief Center and Brother Bud, Appalachian Navy, are getting ready this weekend, probably tomorrow, to head to Ohio. They're going up to speak at a church that Day 41 Disaster Relief attends, and then they're going to bring back a large number of supplies that the church there up in Ohio has donated. And so Bud and Colton's going to be bringing that back to Cry. Without this support, folks, it's going to be impossible for these relief centers to stay open to support the needs that are so great out there. So I just wanted to let you know about Brother Bud and Colton from Cry, Colton Peterson, that they're heading up to Ohio. So keep them in your prayers for safe travel. And we're going to continue our video here. We're going to have some information come in about Party in a Pan. Welcome to Deep River Farm, folks. Well, guess what? It's week number 5. Today is Thursday, and tonight our video is Party in a Pan. This week we're going to talk about just overall, in general, the relief centers. Folks, they're in bad shape. They're seeing way more foot traffic than they have been previously. That is due to several of the relief centers are closing down. The ones that are still open are only open by donations, and that's what's keeping them afloat. There's no government money coming to them, folks. That ain't happening. And they're not seeing any of this money that's coming in. Millions and billions of dollars has come in from the federal government to the state level, and it's not coming to the people, folks. They're working on infrastructure, but they need to be helping these folks who have lost all their jobs, they've lost their cars, they've lost their homes, they've lost everything they own. And no way to dig themselves out of a hole. And without somebody helping to prop them up until the bridges can be repaired, the private bridges, the private roads, where these folks can get in and out, they can't even begin to rebuild their lives. So overall, you're looking at the relief centers as being facilities that are only able to operate as long as people can donate to them. I know we sound like a broke record because we talk about this every week, about how bad a shape they're in. Well, here's one example right here. The Christ Baptist Relief Center there in Newland, and they're saying that they're deeply grateful for the recent outpouring of donations. They were our first featured relief center, week number 1. Your generosity is truly making a difference as one of the few aid providers still operating. See there, folks? One of the few. We've seen an increase in individuals and families from various counties seeking assistance. Now, ain't that something, folks? They're having to come from other counties, you know, to get assistance, to find out about how to get maybe a bridge put in, who to see about different things. And, you know, they don't have nothing. And you're thinking, well, what about going to the grocery store or food stamps or something like that? Well, folks, there is no grocery stores. A lot of these folks at the grocery store, the only one they had is gone. And they have no car. They're relying on somebody to take them somewhere, or a bicycle, or just flat out walk. And that's the situation that they're in up there. Is everybody in that situation? No. It's just the people that lived in the areas that got flooded by a 1,000-year flood. And then you've got the government and the county governments prohibiting them from being able to rebuild on their own land because of the new floodplain mapping zones for a 1,000-year flood. And a lot of people say, well, why in the world would somebody build so close to the river? Well, folks, these houses have been on the river for 100 years, and their grandparents' homes was on that river. Some of them were living in that original home that was built, and they've kept it restored and up to date and things like that. And they've never seen anything like this. So it has absolutely nothing to do with where they were located. It's just that so much rain, 30 inches fell, never before happened. 9 inches the week before that, which already had the rivers and the creeks already at full capacity. And then the people that are operating the dams and things didn't have sense enough to release some of the water on down, knowing there was a hurricane coming. They waited until it was too late, and then they all opened all the gates at one time and gave no warning to the people downriver. And that just added to the problem tenfold. But they don't want to talk about that. There might be some liability involved there. Now here's what they're saying. Consequently, our supplies are being depleted rapidly. That's due to the influx of individuals coming in. With winter and the holiday season approaching, the needs are growing. Many have inquired about donating turkeys and hams for Thanksgiving and Christmas. While we are working on acquiring a freezer for storage, we are not quite there yet. Gift cards to Walmart would be incredibly helpful in purchasing these holiday staples for distribution. Additionally, we are collecting items for Christmas stockings of all ages, from infants to teenagers. Our current needs include canned goods, coffee, tea, water, noodles, meats, snacks, children's snacks, paper products, cleaning supplies, dish soap, laundry detergent, cat and dog food. And we're seeing this request come from every relief center, folks. I just happen to be reading from the Christ Baptist because it's the same thing all across. They're also talking about this: the harsh mountain winters. The most requested items are wall-mounted heaters, livestock feed, electric blankets, socks, and the plastic to go around the windows, propane heaters, candles, batteries, and flashlights. Folks, I'm telling you, it's like being in a primitive campground, the way the people are having to live without the generator. They're done for. They can't have any power without a generator. That means they can't use a little electric blankets. They can't use electric heaters. Just all sorts of things. So they're wanting to see by night to keep the generator off as long as possible by using candles and having batteries for flashlights and even kerosene lanterns. But kerosene is so high, they're relying on cheaper means, and that's candles. We know many in our community feel forgotten, and that's the truth, because they're getting no help other than the nonprofits and the churches that have stepped in. With numerous individuals still working to repair their homes and living in temporary accommodations like campers and sheds, your support is invaluable as we strive to meet the increasing needs of our community. And folks, the repair season is getting ready to come to a roaring halt. It's going to be getting cold and rainy and icy and snowy up in the mountains, and that's going to halt the ability for materials to go up in some of these hollers and things to get these homes repaired. And you got to remember, a lot of people are still toting materials across the rivers and creeks on foot or by a footbridge or a cable and a winch pulling them back and forth across on a zip line. And that's just the way it is up right now. I was able to go up in there the other day, and the traffic was down. It was actually on Columbus Day, so we didn't have much traffic, it seemed like. I was able to just slow down and look along the rivers, and I just was able to see, and it may be because some of the leaves are coming off of the trees kind of prematurely. The number of cables across the river was just amazing. And I had passed through there many times and never even noticed them until this past week. And I saw all the cables, and I thought, wow, there's been a lot of stuff going across these rivers and creeks just in supplies. Had a rope tied to it, and they pulling it back and forth. So, folks, these people are resilient, but they've been forgotten. Now, just for information here, we got this posted anyway. This information came from Grace Gwen at the Christ Baptist Relief Center there in Newland. And she says she appreciates your continued partnership, kindness, and please remember them in your prayers. So, folks, this week's Party in a Pan, we've got a video from Holly, and we're going to leave it with that. Tomorrow night, we're going to be having some information for you that you're not going to want to miss. Last night's videos, it just so happened YouTube crashed at 8 o'clock. Ain't that just kind of interesting how it just at 8 o'clock it crashed and nobody could see the video? I don't know if it was just this channel or YouTube altogether. But everything looked good, and then it started off, and then the video had an error occurred message, and you could not get it restarted. I wound up shutting everything down several times, and then when it did start, it skipped to the middle of it. I backed it back out manually, and when I done that, we had another error, and then it just wouldn't start. And then finally, about 10 after 8, everything started, but it was kind of audio would go in and out, and then about 8:30, everything was back to normal. So I don't know what the problem was, but it was kind of convenient that right at 8 o'clock, right on prime time, it crashed. Well, folks, take a look at what Holly's got for us here. And we've got our menu. We're going to also post this on the post of Deep River Farm. Continue to pray for those in western North Carolina, as these relief centers' food supply is in an extreme shortage. Thanks for watching.
Hey y'all, it's Holly, the Amazon lady. Wanted to bring you week 5 of Party in the Pan. Can you believe that we are already into week 5 of the food drive? Thank you so much for everyone who has been donating. I think that this is working really well for the relief centers so that they can have complimentary items for the folks that come in there. This week, we're going to focus on beef and potatoes. You see here at my bread box that I have some beef that we canned. I told you a video or so ago that we divest. So these are dehydrated potato flakes. I'm going to put things on there like loaded potato and beef pot roast soups, but also some of these au gratin or scallop potatoes, Hungry Jack kind of potatoes that people can basically rehydrate, which brings me to some home dehydrated potatoes and some canned potatoes. Those right there, the reason why they look hazy is because of the starches, but we canned some potatoes not too long ago for our shelves. And of course, if you're going to have beef and potatoes, we need to have some veggies. So canned vegetables will also continue to be on the list this week, rollover from last week. We're going to focus on things like roast beef, gravies, stew seasoning packs. I'm going to add beef, ground beef, some luncheon beef. Excuse me, my camera got a little crazy. Luncheon beef, maybe some lima beans, some butter beans, those dehydrated potato kits, plain or with flavors. We're also going to do fruit cups for the kids. That's a request of some of the relief centers, is child-friendly snacks that they can get into themselves. Breakfast bars. For breakfast, maybe some corned beef hash. Do you see the theme? Beef sticks, beef jerky. But also, with it being moving into the cold and flu season, we're going to ask for medicines, and diapers is a big need right now. And also the typical paper products like toilet paper and paper towels and things. But we're also going to ask for tinfoil and plastic wrap. And soon we'll be adding, in a few weeks, some baking pans, because we're going to be getting into Thanksgiving dinner soon, and hopefully some sides that can go into a dinner box for them. And we're also continuing to ask for cleaning supplies like dish soap, laundry powder, and multi-purpose cleaner. If you feel led, please give. Bud has a flyer out there for churches and civic groups to help with a drive. If you are going to do that, perhaps fine-tune it like we have with Party in the Pan. So maybe a church could ask for a spaghetti dinner night, or churches could do something like the sides for Thanksgiving, because, that's something that we can have now and later for the holiday. Canned vegetables are a big need. Canned soups and different types of dehydrated things that all you have to do is add water to. Keep in mind that a lot of people are still without power or are on a temporary power grid, and we have snow coming, so the more we can get up there in these homes to prepare them for the days that they're not going to be able to access the relief centers, the better. We're grateful for y'all. Thank you so much for supporting us in Western North Carolina. Thank you so much for supporting Party in the Pan and for supporting Deep River Farms Prime Time with Wayne and Rudy. Y'all have a wonderful day. Y'all have a blessed day. And don't forget, we love you. Have a good one. Bye-bye.